The red azalea in the lives of others are about people living under oppression. In the lives of others, Wiesler is a Stasi man that surveys a playwright called Dryman. In the red azalea, Min is a young girl that is raised as a strong mouse supporter. But in both cases, a relationship of some kind breaks them off from their original teachings. For instance, in the lives of others, you can see Wiesler as a strict man who seems to love the Stasi in every way they work. In one of the early scenes of the movie, you see him interviewing a man that has been suspected of being a West German or wants to go to West Germany, and you see him, Wiesler, drilling him with questions for the entire day with no let up. He's told to sit on his hands and is barely able to stay awake during the end of it, and it gave you the image in your mind that Wiesler was some sort of monster of some type. It made you scared in some ways. And after that scene, it then shifts to him telling a story to a group of young men who are being taught how to interrogate. And one of the students then decides to question the morality, as seen in this movie clip here.
Warum müssen Sie ihn so lange wach halten? Ich meine, das ist doch unmenschlich.
It is also the same for Min, who was raised under a strict, Mao-loving communist regime. The new revolution had sparked great love for Mao because he had gotten rid of a class divide and the idea of communism was great. Well, as for the moment it was. In one section of the book, I was able to find a great example of just how loyal Min was to the party. A girl above her and her family had invited her to come to their room and have a Mao study session. And here is the quote from the book. She came down and asked me if I would like to join her family's Mao study seminar every evening after dinner. I said I had to ask my father. My father said no. He said he did not want to have a revolution at home. It surprised me. I spent a night thinking whether my father was a hidden counter-revolutionary and whether or not I should report him. Now, I bet all of you found this quite insane when we read it. I thought to myself, what? She wants to turn her own father in for even hinting at counter-revolutionary thoughts? And this example just shows the type of loyalty that Min had for Mao and what he stood for. Other examples of Min's loyalty to the party include when she turned her own teacher in. During this one section, Min had been confronted by one of the party's members, and he had told her that her favorite and most beloved teacher was a counter-revolutionary. With only a little struggle, she was able to get past her personal connections to the teacher, and in front of thousands of people, she stood up and accused her very own teacher of being an anti-revolutionary. It seemed to me as if she just had blind faith for her party. Further down the story, both Min and Wiesler find that their unprecedented loyalty to the party begins to break down. And in both cases, this breakdown of loyalty is due to love. But in the case of Wiesler, it's a little bit different. As Wiesler begins to become familiar with the life of Dryman, the man he's observing, he found himself becoming attached. And even when Dryman spoke of exposing what the East had hidden from the public, Wiesler was not write it down in the report, as seen here in the video clip.
Wer hätte gedacht, dass es solche Idioten sind?
Warte, ne?
What I found was that no matter how much you have been drilled, that humans can be easily changed by love. And in this case, it's not even a sexual attraction, but a love for another human being. And no amount of anti-West teaching can counter this, as seen in the case of Wiesler. The red azalea is basically the same in that the sense of love can overpower nearly anything. Further into the book, Min falls in love with Yen, her female supervisor, and their love is banned by the revolution, and they can nearly risk everything they have just to sleep in each other's arms during the night. Here's an excerpt from the book that helps give an image of the amount of love they felt for each other. I heard a little voice rising in the back of my head, demanding me to stop. As I hesitated, she caught my lips and kissed me fervently. The little voice disappeared. I lost myself in her caresses. They both loved Mao, and they still did during their relationship, but their relationship overpowered their love for Mao, and that Mao came second to Yan. And Min had been raised a strict revolutionary that would go against her own family for Mao, but once she found true love with Yan, there was no way of breaking the bond. From what I've seen and read, both Wiesler and Min have shown that no amount of revolutionary teaching or repressing can overpower a human's natural tendency to want to be loved.